Let's begin here by taking a look at what are moving averages. A moving average is a statistical calculation that reduces noise and smooths out the price data. So for example, if you take a look at this chart right here, you can see that this blue line on the chart is a moving average. And to be more precise, it's an SMA 50. And we will talk more about that very soon. But for now, what we need to understand is, if you take a look at the price here, you can see that the price moves up and down a lot in a very sort of erratic fashion, while the moving average have a very sort of nice and smooth price movement. And this is what we mean when we say reduces noise and smooths out the price. So instead of having price movements that look something like this, a moving average will be nice and smooth. And what are moving averages used for? Well, moving averages has tons of different use cases. They can be used to, for example, identify trends. Moving averages can also generate buy and sell signals, and also so much more, and we will cover all of that in this course. So now let's dive a little bit deeper into how the moving average actually works. As I already mentioned, in order to use moving averages effectively, we of course need to understand how they work. Every moving average has two classifications. They have both a length and a type. And the length of a moving average refers to the number of periods used to calculate the average. So if you, for example, take a look at this chart right here, you can see that this purple upsloping line is a moving average. And to be more precise, it's an EMA 20. And it is this number right here that refers to the moving average length. So in this case, the moving average is based on 20 periods. But what do I mean here by periods? Well, the period will depend on what type of chart you're using. So for example, on this chart, we are using daily candles, which means that every single candlestick on this chart represents 1 day. So in this particular case, the moving average is based on 20 days. But if this instead was, for example, a 1 hour chart, then the moving average would be based on 20 hours. And if this was a 5-minute chart, the moving average would be based on 20 5-minute candles, and so on and so on. The next classification we need to understand is the type. One of the most common types is the SMA, or in other words, the simple moving average. Another type is the EMA, which is the exponential moving average. And here on our chart example, we had an EMA 20. So this basically means that we have an exponential moving average based on 20 days. So here are some examples of full classifications. We can, for example, have an SMA 20, and that is a 20 period simple moving average. Or we could have a EMA 50. In this case, we're talking about a 50 period exponential moving average, and so on and so on. And now guys, I want to just super quickly take a look at the moving average calculation. And even if you hate math or don't like math, I highly recommend that you don't skip this chapter. First of all, I will keep the chapter super simple and straightforward. And also, in order to, really master moving averages, having a basic understanding of how they are actually calculated can be super useful. The first thing I want to notice is that different moving averages have slightly different calculations. So for example, the simple moving average is not exactly the same as the exponential moving average. The reason why these moving averages are behaving slightly different is because, of course, they are calculated in slightly different ways. But the important thing to learn here is that all moving averages, as you can hear on the name, calculates averages of price movements. And to understand this, let's take a look at a very quick calculation of the simple moving average. So as you guys can see, right here we have the formula for the simple moving average. And you can see that we have A1 plus A2 and so on up to AN. And these fancy letters are super simple. It's simply where a candle closed. And then you can see that we divide all of the closing prices with N. And N just simply means the number of total periods, or in other words, the length of the moving average. So to make this very simple, let's just say that we have a simple moving average with a length of 5. So to calculate this, we need to add up the 5 most recent closing prices. And to make this very simple, let's say that the most recent price was 7. So the price closed at 7, for example, today. And before that, it was 6. Before that, 5. Before that, 4. And before that, 3. So these are the closing prices of the last 5 days. And to get the moving average, we simply divide by the length. And remember, the length here is 5. So we divide here by 5. And this will simply be equal to 5. So in this case, let's say that these sort of lines here are the price. These 5 bars right here are the last 5 bars. In this case, the moving average would be somewhere right here, just in the middle between this point and this point. This video was just a very short clip from our full moving average trading course. To watch the full video, simply click or tap on the screen right here. I hope to see you all in the full course very soon.